When we watch disaster movies, we always hate it when people do stupid things such as yelling when the monsters are around or acting all crazy, sabotaging our main character's chances of survival. However, when we ourselves are in a disaster, some of us still do a lot of irrational things such as ignoring all precautions when our cases soar to record high. As more of us are now experiencing what we call pandemic fatigue or crisis fatigue in general. What is it actually? According to experts, crisis fatigue is when our body responds to extreme stress and causes us to feel physically and emotionally numb. You may get enough sleep but still feel exhausted or lose interest in things that you used to enjoy. As much as it sounds like depression, it can appear as anxiety as well. That is because it involves a hormone that is well known to us, cortisol. Whenever we face a threat, our adrenal glands will release adrenaline and cortisol to help us prepare. Increased heart rate and heavy breathing are both signs that the hormones are in action. Adrenaline is for the short-term fight-or-flight response, while cortisol works in a longer time frame. In most movies, disasters are one-off events that occur over a very short period of time, be it plane crash, shipwreck, fire, storm, earthquake. Only a few disasters are long-lasting, such as alien invasion or zombie apocalypse. That is why in most cases, adrenaline should be the dominant hormone and crisis fatigue would not occur. However, what if we really live in a world like in World War C that changes our life forever? Well, in that case, our body will remain in crisis mode and cortisol will become the long-term dominant hormone. Known as the stress hormone, a high level of cortisol is the reason why we may feel fatigue, burnout, or even in some cases, having a mental breakdown. Before we talk about what we can do to prevent crisis fatigue, first I want to use a movie as an example to introduce you the 4 stages of crisis response, with the first one being the heroic stage. Right after the impact of the disaster, people react quickly to do what needs to be done. Because of the adrenaline rush, people are energized to help each other out and have an additional sense of altruism. In the movie World War C, it can be seen when a young man extended his help at a pharmacy and when a Hispanic family took Brad Pitt's family in. What came after is the honeymoon stage. At this stage, assistance becomes readily available and people feel good about their initial success. In World War C, that is when Brad Pitt's family was extracted to a Navy vessel and was literally in the same boat with others. Having a collective identity to survive and save the world, optimists may even be hopeful that everything will soon be in control. But this is when reality kicks in as we fall into the stage of disillusionment, where people finally realize how difficult it is to truly get over the crisis and become physically and mentally exhausted. Crisis fatigue can gradually occur and symptoms can go in one of 2 directions. One is withdrawal, where people no longer care about the crisis and what needs to be done. 2 is hyperarousal, where people become irritable and can be easily triggered. That is what happened in World War C after Brad Pitt barely survived the plane crash and realized his family was sent away by the Navy. Although his symptoms of crisis fatigue were mild, you can still sense his agitation if you rewatch that scene at the WHO.
Trust me when I tell you they're not safe.
Last but not least is the stage of reconstruction, where people slowly recover from the disaster and begin a new way of life. This did not happen until the vaccine was ready in World War C and will probably be the same for us in real life. However, the emotional turmoil before that can be unsettling and people may be prone to risky behaviors when having a crisis fatigue. That is why we must take frequent breaks to rest our body and our mind. According to Professor Levunis, we experience mental fatigue simply because we invest too much energy into the early stages of the crisis. So taking it easy isn't so bad after all if we don't want to burn out in the long run. As we learned from the movie Zombieland, we can't spend all time worrying, right? So follow rule number 32 and enjoy the little things.